What's up, YouTube? Damn, man, I thought I could get you guys to giggle. Yeah, she almost did it. Okay, let's see.
Really?
Supposed to say YouTube Nation.
Oh, no, that's TikTok Nation.
Oh.
All right.
Game face, Amber. Game face.
Welcome back to Generation Strength does supplemental / secondary exercises. Today, we're going to go over Larson Press and floor press for the bench variations. And the goal behind these is to learn how to create tightness throughout your upper body without the use of your legs. We want to make sure that you can get tight without the legs so that when you do have the legs, it's just that much of an added bonus.
I like the sound of that. Yep.
So let's do it.
Alright, so now we're going to demonstrate the Joe Swanson press. Alright? For those who don't have legs, or the Lieutenant Dan press if you want to call it.
Alright guys, so pretty straightforward setup. You've probably seen all of our previous videos. We've talked about bench setup, so everything there that we talked about applies here. Normal bench press setup, he's going to wedge under the bar, he's going to get his upper back tight, all that. And basically what he's going to do here is he's going to unrack the bar exactly how he would as if he was going to perform a competition style bench press. And once he has that bar set in place to begin the press, he's going to slowly bring his legs out in front of him, right? And he's going to do that really, really slow to ensure that we don't sacrifice any positioning here through the upper back. And like we said earlier, the focus is to maintain this arch in his upper back as best as possible while he goes through the duration of the set. So you'll notice that Ranson has his legs set out in front of him. He can have them spread out or he can have them close together. It really doesn't matter. The biggest thing that we want to avoid here is having the legs propped up on the bench, right? So if you're pushing the intensity on this movement here and you're getting to a point where reps are getting more difficult, you are going to run the risk of getting a little bit of leg drive here, of pushing this heel into the pad to reinforce your tightness in the upper back. Another thing too that we want to avoid here with having our feet up on the bench is having more, it's going to cause more of an arch through the lower back, which we don't want. We want to make sure that we're creating the arch through our upper back. So we're better off to just have the legs out in front. So big difference between Ranson here. I mean, he's bordering the lines of being classified as a short person. So we're going to get him off the bench here, and I'll have Amber come in, who is obviously noticeably shorter.
Bonafide short.
So her setup for the Larson press is going to be a little bit different just because she is a little bit shorter. So if she were to set up and if she were to have her legs laid out straight in front of her, you notice that the majority of her leg is still on the bench, which is going to provide her a little bit more stability, right? She just has more of her body on the bench. It's going to create more stability. So what we're going to do for Amber when she does this exercise is we're just going to kick her legs out to the side, right? A lot more unstable, right? Which is what we're going for here. So biggest difference between somebody built more like me, Brian, or Ranson, we can have our legs straight out in front of us if we want, or if we want to make the exercise harder for the sake of making it harder, we can lay our legs out to the side as well. But if you're somebody that's a little bit shorter and most of your leg is going to be on the bench, if you have them out in front, lay them out to the side, make it a little bit more unstable, and the intention of the exercise is going to be a lot better. So.
Parkour!
Alright, so second exercise of the day, we're going to be going over Larson presses. So,
Excuse me, sir.
This is a floor.
we're going to be going over floor presses. So a lot of similar aspects here that we talked about with Larson presses. We're trying really, really hard to focus on maintaining tension through our upper back without the help of leg drive. Some little differences to this compared to Larson presses. This is a partial range of motion movement, so we're going to be overloading the top end of the press a little bit more. So if you're somebody that struggles with that mid-range to lockout on your competition bench, this isn't a bad movement for you to try. So I'm going to have Ranson lay down here, and typically when we see people set up, same rules apply to the Larson press. We don't want to have the feet tucked underneath us when we perform this movement, because this is going to allow the lifter to cheat the lift and get a little bit of leg drive. We're going to see the butt come off the ground with heavy presses, and there's going to be more arching through the lower back. So not only do we want the legs straight out, because this is still, sometimes we can see, even when people have their legs splayed straight out, they might run into scenarios where they start to drive their heel into the floor.
Quads.
and they start to tense their quads, and you can still see their butt come off the floor. So we're still cheating the movement a little bit. So Ranson here was kind enough to come up with a solution to this problem for us today.
Yep.
We're gonna lay a foam roller behind the knees.
Yep, so instead of being here with heavy weight and tensing up, where I'm coming off, foam roller right behind the knee. That keeps your lower back nice and on the ground, so you're not arching.
Yep.
And also, if you start to have any kind of drive here with your quads, your legs come up.
So if your legs come off the ground, you're wrong. You want them on the ground the whole time, which means that your quads are not tense.
Yep.
Yep, so this is just gonna make it a lot more difficult for the lifter to cheat the lift. So, and it's gonna be a lot easier to identify if we are cheating the lift. So, but outside of that, everything else is very, very similar. The one big thing that I wanna point out here with floor presses is we wanna lower the bar just until the tricep touches the floor. We do not want the elbow to come in full contact with the floor here. That's gonna create a really not very fun jarring effect up into the wrist, and that's just, it's not gonna be a good time. So lower the bar till the tricep touches the floor, and then press back up. All right, we don't want to perform like a really aggressive touch and go. We want to be pretty controlled. We want to go until the tricep is just barely resting on the floor, and then press back up, and then from there, it's a normal bench press just until your elbows, triceps touch the floor. So I think that covers it.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to check out our video.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll be doing some deadlift supplemental secondary things. We're not really sure what yet, but
We got a couple ideas.
we got some ideas. Some really good information, some stuff that you're going to need. So come on back next week, next Friday, whatever. I don't know, something like that. And like, subscribe, share, save. Don't hold my pocket.
Well,
And come on back. Thanks, guys.
I was going for like shout out to